Mahito. Oh, Mahito. Now, some may wonder, why remove the technical true super awakening status of Mahito? One good reason. Z wanted to avoid this one of the greatest bullets of all time. A super awakening for Jujutsu shenanigans. It also known as JJS, so I don't screw this up anymore. Has a lot of things going on with it. And ever since the addition of Megami and Maharaga, which has its own technical super awakening, people really didn't expect, hey, the next character probably is gonna have another super awakening. No, nobody really expected that. But when Mahito dropped the super awakening, it started to set a new precedent that might start going onto the table, which is, what if we add requests for super awakenings like Gojo, Sukuna, and maybe Hikari? Because those characters could also work with super awakenings, mainly Sukuna, but the additions to them would probably ruin the overall aspect of the game. The game, in short, is meant to have at least 3 basic stuff, each character having a basic or ability, also known as their special ability, and their base and awakening movesets. This kind of separates them from each other. Megami is that summoner type where he just kind of throws stuff at you with no care in the world. Gojo is a overall balance type. Hikari is more of a tank, pretty slow and sluggish, slower moves, and Yuji, aka and slash Sukuna, is more of that rush down archetype, with Mahito, crazily enough, is a multi-phase type character where you get to change your overall ability. Now, with this new move, it is really nice because it combos into so much. Although, what we were expecting is that continuously have a revolving door of moves to come into it, where you would do the 2 black flashes to open the super awakening, which, if I didn't tell us before, that's how you would use super awakening for Mahito. You would pop your base awakening, then land 2 black flashes with idle transfiguration. After you do that, you will finally be able to have a new bar that says awaken now, where you'll press G to awaken. Within that, you can actually do a lot more. Although, another bad thing is, this awakening does not last as long as the base awakening. Probably now it does last as long as a normal base awakening because the super awakening aspect has been taken out of the game entirely. Although, this could lead to more problems. Most likely not, due to the aspect that Super Awakening is out of the game, so we're not going to have to worry about people begging for Super Awakenings, because it's probably going to get forgotten about within, let's say, a week, because nobody really cares all too much that, hey, a Super Awakening, our Super Awakening's gone, we can't beg for others, because it's most likely not going to come back. It's a failed mechanic that Z really is good for removing. It was a smart idea to not have this come into the game, because it would just pretty much introduce new mechanics, which is other characters also having a super awakening. And I find it crazy that we were possibly expecting more characters to have super awakenings later on down the road. And I never expected Mahito in the first place to get one. We all kind of thought that Maharaga would probably be the only technical super awakening, because it doesn't make sense for Megami to kind of have that move where you're just like, alright, pop Maharaga, he does like a thing or two, and that's it. No, nobody really expected that type of aspect to happen. That would have been pretty poor, and people Z would probably get a lot of hate for it. Although, it kind of just set more of a healthy aspect, a somewhat unhealthy aspect, when Mahito started getting a similar treatment. Now, you may be wondering, why did Mahito for Awakening. Now, the reason why he did get a Super Awakening is because of Megami and the Maharaga moveset. Z kind of wanted to see, hey, let's test the waters in adding new stuff to another character. So he tested the waters with Mahito, but then it kind of started to possibly pin to his mind that, hey, Mahito with Super Awakening would not lead a good road for the continuation of Jujutsu shenanigans. And it's a good thing, because he would hence have to most likely rework the first 3 characters, and then afterwards work on possibly Nobara and adding somehow a Super Awakening to her, which would be already hard enough. Her with just a base moveset and an Awakening moveset is, you're barely fitting the bill on it. Just barely. Now, the idea of a Super Awakening was good in practice, but put into a massive scale outside of that base practice set and thinking about a future of the game, it would be very horrible. So in practice, with the small character list we have right now, it was good. It was amazing. But thinking about the future of the game, it would be horrible. It would not be good, and we are probably looking to a much healthier future for JJS. I am not surprised that we are possibly getting a different character right after this, because Mahito pretty much is finished. Unless Z decides to revert back and say, hey, let's add Super Awakening, which I do not think he will. It is very, very low chance that he'll ever re-add a Super Awakening concept outside of just Maharaga. Maharaga is an exception to most games. It is a completely different wildcard character. A lot of summoners kind of have this tense Super Awakening kind of moveset to work around, which scales well with Megami because he is a summoner character. He summons things to throw at the opponent. And the idea of Mahito and the other characters kind of also sharing that would not be good. Right, now let me show you what I mean by a summoner type character. Pretty much, you're gonna summon a character. Divine Dogs is like the greatest pretty much idea of a summoner, but I'm not stopped there, because these other characters, this is more of just him throwing out different models of characters to attack you with. He's not attacking, and he's not really like throwing something like nails like Nobara would do. Nobara would be probably most likely a basic summoner. Megami, he is throwing out stuff that isn't kind of consistent compared to what Nobara would do. Nobara would be throwing nails, using her hammer, and using resonance would just be a basic zoner. Now, you may be wondering, what do I mean? Like, hey, Muses, what do you mean by a multi-phase character? What I mean by a multi-phase character is they can freely switch between a phase of them. So you got the normal phase, which is just kind of normal speed. Everything is kind of very basic. Then you got the sword phase. Everything is much faster, but we're sacrificing distance and overall damage. Now we got the tank. Alright, the tank, you have pretty much huge M1s, lots of damage, but very slow with guard break potential on your front dash. This is really good. Pretty much alternating between these helps mix up your opponent. It's a much easier mix-up tool for your opponent, against your opponent, and really acclimates different types of combos, mainly for Mahito, and it kind of makes a healthier playing ground. Although multi-phase characters are usually known for a much higher skill ceiling due to the switching that goes on. You can kind of think of a multi-phase character kind of like Tusk from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in All-Star Battle R. He kind of switches between the Axe of Tusk to actually help him in fights. Yes, Tusk Act 4 is objectively the best, just kind of like how Mahito's sword style is objectively the best for him. But it does not exclude the other facts that he has the other acts to assist him in battle. And it's insane that those other acts are kind of not meaningless in the sense that you and I would really think. It's really helpful that the other acts kind of have uses that Act 4 cannot tap into. Now, what do we expect from the future of Jujutsu shenanigans? Precisely, I expect that Jujutsu shenanigans will most likely just continue with the very base moveset and awakening moveset with a special move. Differentiates the characters much easier. This is just overall for better gameplay and a better overall community. Now, you may see other people kind of complain that the base awakening is gone from Mahito, and for an aspect, yes, it kind of does show that he kind of did lose some months progress due to it, but it's worth it. It is really good that we're kind of going back to a normal type of moveset when it comes to a character for Jujutsu shenanigans. Anyways, that should be it.